Today on CCX News, a bet on sports gambling, how new gambling legislation could benefit local charities. Sports betting is legal in 38 states, including the ones that border Minnesota. A bill that's currently making its way through the state legislature would not only legalize it here, but provide millions of dollars in tax relief for charitable gambling organizations. At the Osseo Maple Grove American Legion, charitable gambling in the form of pull tabs, both traditional and electronic, are part of the experience. Much of the money spent on these games helps youth sports and local nonprofits.
Some of our big ones that we go support is CEAP and Cross, so two of the local food shelves.
James Hultgren is the gambling manager here at the Legion, and he says last year they donated $115,000 to community organizations. However, an even bigger chunk went to the state of Minnesota.
2023, over $328,000 was paid to the state in taxes.
Could you please come forward?
At the state capitol,
we support the amended version of the sports betting bill, HF 2000.
An amendment added to the sports betting bill that's currently making its way through committee would create about $40 million a year in tax cuts for charitable gambling operations.
It doesn't make sense that we pay more to the state of Minnesota than our charitable benefactors. So this bill actually flips that to where our nonprofit partners will receive, and our community will receive more than the state.
Maple Grove City Council member Christy Janigo,
so these are the tax tiers right there,
who also serves as the American Legion Department of Minnesota Legislative Chair, worked with state lawmakers to get the tax relief amendment added, particularly after the state made tweaks to e-pull tab games that go into effect next year, which could result in a loss of gambling revenue.
We really need this in light of the changes to e-tabs, but also because we've needed tax cuts for many years.
And if they get those tax cuts, officials of the Legion say it'll mean more money for local nonprofits.
Right now, it's 45% of our revenue goes to the state. So if you take that in half, that's $119,000 that we could directly put into this community.
If the sports betting bill passes, that amendment would also allow the Legion to use more of the gambling revenue for building upkeep. MnDOT has announced its summer construction schedule. Those plans include 6 projects in the Northwest Metro. The most expensive of the bunch is the long-awaited final connections to Highway 610. That project would provide a 4-lane roadway connection between County Road 30 and I-94, and a bridge connection across I-94 to Highway 610. Traffic will be shifted to the outside lanes of east and westbound I-94 to allow for construction of the new bridge. The $43 million project runs until September of 2026. The Robbinsdale School Board is moving ahead with plans to renew one of its most significant tax levies this year. The school board is able to renew its $25 million operating levy without asking voters for approval. Teacher salaries and benefits are funded by revenue from the tax. One board member felt that voters should be able to weigh in on the tax at the ballot box.
I recognize we need the money. I really, really do. I just was hoping that we could show some more, stronger leadership and definitive changes.
Voters will have the opportunity to vote on the district's $6.8 million capital projects levy in November. Revenue from this levy can be used to repair schools and buy new technology. CEAP in Brooklyn Center is expanding its Meals on Wheels program. It's now the only provider of hot meals for homebound residents in the northwest suburbs. Reporter Emily Haugen explains why, right now, that need for volunteers is higher than ever.
Yep, right there.
Do you have just one?
Most days a week.
Yes.
You can find Carl Munson at CEAP.
There's typically a hot bag and a cold bag.
He's a Meals on Wheels driver.
I'm just taking my own.
One of the nonprofit's 500 monthly volunteers.
Well, since I'm retired, I got nothing but time. And it gets me out of the house, every day.
In Carl's career, he was a Metro Mobility driver.
All right.
He helped people get around who needed it the most.
Yeah.
In his retirement,
8100 right there.
He's doing the same.
Volunteering is about giving back as well.
Many of the people Carl visits are homebound.
Hi.
He's some of the only interaction they get in a day. He provides them a friendly face and a home-cooked meal.
You have a great day.
When our volunteers deliver food, they're also delivering independence, safety checks, and friendship.
Katie Briggs from CEAP says the 65-plus population is growing exponentially.
There she goes.
That plus its Meals on Wheels expansion to cover more neighbors means more help is needed.
We have around 30 routes that we deliver every day, so we certainly don't have the staff capacity to be delivering to hundreds of participants every day, and so
Oh, there she is.
we really do rely on volunteer support to get the meals out the door.
So more people like Carl are seriously needed. And it's clear the volunteers get plenty out of it too.
It's giving back, and it's not a huge commitment in terms of time. Okay, have a great day. And so it's easy to do.
In Brooklyn Center, Emily Haugen, CCX News.
Bulky item cleanup is underway in Crystal and New Hope. It runs through April 11th and divides the cities into 10 zones. Each zone has its own collection day, where trucks will pick up bulky furniture, mattresses, and box springs. There are limits about how much you can leave out. Just 2 pieces of furniture, 2 mattresses or box springs, and 2 appliances.
We don't want that stuff piling up in people's homes. It's difficult to get rid of, so we want to give them the opportunity to get rid of this stuff in kind of an equitable manner.
Items have to be set out by 7 in the morning on your individual collection day. Electronics like TVs are not accepted, but they can be taken in for recycling drop-off on Saturday, April 27th. We'll have specifics on ccxmedia.org.
Last year, the Wayzata boys tennis team won the Class 2A state championship with a 5-2 win over Rochester Mayo. The Trojans are back to work this spring and are eyeing a state title repeat. Ches Moots has more.
It's all about getting back in the swing in week 1 of the season for Wayzata boys tennis.
Not everyone does play year-round, so just getting people to find their strokes from last year and really just building team community is really important to us as well.
The Trojans reached the peak of something that they had been building on for a while last spring, winning the Class 2A state championship.
We had a motto the entire time, 4 years in the making. So for the past 4 years, we've been constantly grinding, day in, day out. It was a great feeling overall.
Wayzata lost Colin Vadoon and Brad Hagan to graduation last year, and the beginning of the season this year is all about finding what players fit what roles.
Every team will say the same thing. I mean, we got kids that are rusty. We've got kids that played winter sports. We've got kids that got used to playing team tennis. So we got to start finding out who's going to start playing where, who's a good doubles partner for you. There's a lot to be decided here in the next week and a half.
Colin's younger brother Aaron and De'Aaron Akina aren't the only Trojans that are returning back from the top 10 of Wayzata's lineup last year. Rishi Rajit, Tanae Pagalori, and Jacob Salisbury are all back and a part of a solid core.
The confidence that I have comes from the confidence that we have in each other. Everyone trusts each other to win the spots that they need to and just get the job done when it matters, which is what's going to help us win the state chip this year.
We had a lot of returning seniors from last year. They know how to win the game, they know how to win the points, and we're confident that we can win the state championship.
Before they compete for a repeat as state champs, the Trojans are enjoying the early season competition against themselves.
It's an exciting time for us. We've got a lot of kids that want to play top 10 and want to be in the lineup, and it's going to be competitive all year.
In Minneapolis, Ches Moots, CCX Sports.
A young Maple Grove baseball team had some ups and downs last season. With a year of experience, the Crimson will aim high this spring. Here's Jay Wilcox with a season preview.
With the team trip to Florida and now indoor work back in Minnesota, the Maple Grove baseball team is sharpening up for a promising season.
We got 6 scrimmages in, and it's always good to get out in the warmth, and we were sitting here in the dome. So it was a good trip. I think the team, in my opinion, it was a solid trip because I think we exceeded what my expectations were, so that's always a positive.
The Crimson will still have a young team this spring with a lot of sophomores in key roles. But a year of varsity experience gained from many of the talented younger guys is sure to show on the field.
We have a lot of young guys that actually played a lot of varsity innings last year, so I'm excited to see how well they perform this year with all that varsity experience.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of young players that already have a year under their belt, and they will be able to have a big impact on us after having some experience on the team and being able to communicate with the guys. And
pitcher first baseman Sam Hagan, shortstop Caden Harney, pitcher Evan O'Dwyer, and third baseman DH Nathan Schmidt are a few key players to watch for. A traditionally strong program, Maple Grove had some growing pains last season and fell to 4-8 in Northwest Suburban play and 11-13 overall. They see a climb in the standings ahead.
We're aiming towards state for sure. That's our end goal. Even winning state would be great. But it's like our coach always tells us, one step at a time.
I mean, of course, it would be to go to state this year. I think that we have a good chance. I know Champlin's going to be pretty good this year, and Moundsview always gives us a tough time. But I think that we have a good chance at making a good run in sections and hopefully making it to state.
Pitching and defense should be solid areas for Maple Grove. If the bats come along, it could be a good season. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Maple Grove is hoping to get their season opener in Friday at Rogers. That's all for sports. More CCX News after this.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.